Hi, I'm Barbara. Welcome to this week's episode of Craft Corner Kids to Go. We're in week 2 of summer reading, and this week our subject is walruses. So we're going to make a paper plate walrus. You can make this with 3 paper plates, some paint, the Google eyes, some yarn, some plastic spoons, some brass fasteners, and then I fixed a little pipe cleaner on the back so that we can hang him up, and you need glue dots. So to start out with, you're going to have 3 uncoated paper plates that you will need to paint. I used acrylic paint. You want these to be brown. I didn't like just plain old brown, so I mixed it with some white. And I still wasn't happy, so I added a little orange to it. So my paper plates are here. So you know the drill. You have to paint them and set them aside and let them dry. So you have 3 paper plates. One of these is going to be the body. One of them is going to be the head, and one's going to be his flippers. So in order to make the head smaller, I've got a ruler and a pencil. And I'm going to mark about 3/4 of an inch around the edge and then cut it off. Then I'll take my scissors and follow those lines I marked and just cut around 3/4 of an inch. And now I have a smaller circle for my walrus's head. The flippers, you will do the same. I think to make this a little bit easier, you'll just fold this guy in half and cut around 3/4 of an inch, just like we did on the head. And then cut it in half, right down the fold line, and you have his flippers. Okay, so to start out with my head, I want to use a marker and draw his nose and his cheeks. So for his head, I'm just going to work on this part right now. And I know his eyes are going to be up here. And he needs a triangle nose. So I'm drawing a little triangle, and I'm going to fill it in. Then we're going to do the outline of his little cheeks. So you end up with sort of a W with a triangle, like that. Now, we're going to put his eyes on. So I have some glue dots, and I have 2. So I have some glue dots, and I have 2 Google eyes. And we are going to put the head on the body like this. But before we do that, we've got to get his tusks on. So the tusks will work best if you put your 2 spoons on the body, glue them on, and then we're going to glue the head on top of that. So I've got the 2 spoons there, and I'll put a glue dot under each bowl of the spoon. Okay, and now I want to fit Mr. Walrus's head on that. So let's look and see. It would be best to put a little glue dot right there between his eyes at the back, and maybe one other so that we can make sure that we hold him well. So I just peel it up and stick it down. Okay, so now he is ready for some whiskers. Now you should have 8 pieces of yarn in your kit. So we're going to take 8 glue dots, and each one you want to stretch like it's a line instead of a dot. And start up here at the top of his nose and go straight out. So we're going to do 4 on each side. Now I'm going to take my yarn and stretch it out on the glue so that it comes out straight out from his nose. So I'm gluing down my yarn pieces so that no glue is visible underneath my whisker. Okay, so now he's got 4 whiskers, but if we hold it like that, they're going to fall. So we're going to stretch another piece of glue dot right out here, even with the original one, so that each one is glued straight out. So I need 4 more pieces of glue that I'm going to make a line with. Okay, so now you can see that's one side. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now my walrus has his tusks and his whiskers. The only thing he still needs is a hanging thing for the back and for his flippers. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip him over. We're going to take this piece of pipe cleaner that's in your kit and make a little loop. And then there is a piece of adhesive back foam that's sticky. And if you take the sticky back off of this and put this pipe cleaner right up where you can hang your walrus and lay the sticky foam on top of it so that it holds, then you'll be able to hang your walrus up. Okay, and the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to take a hole punch, and we want to put the flippers on. So I'm punching a hole in each flipper at the part that is straight, and I'm going to lay it on my body and mark it with a pencil where the hole reaches. And we'll have to go back in there, and I don't think you can reach this with the hole punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and push real hard where I made the mark and make a hole. Then you should have 2 little brass fasteners, and you just put them through the flipper and through the body of your walrus, and do that on each side. Make sure it doesn't cover up your tusk, because you want your walrus to have its tusks. And there you have it. You have a walrus. So that's it for this week's episode of Craft Corner Kits to Go, and we'll see you next week.